to that channel, and so many more. I mean, JimMeskimen.com you can go to, Jim Ross Meskimen on Twitter, Jim Pressions on Instagram. Super talented guy, but seriously, you can go to YouTube and check out his amazing stuff, or just his website.
1 minute.
YouTube is Jim Pressions, and then JimMeskimen.com. Truly a very uplifting and really cool dude, man. I so appreciate his candor and his willingness to be on the show. I want to thank Exos Physical Therapy and Sports Performance for helping us do what we do and bringing you Jim Meskimen today here on Breaking the Norm, and all of our guests. 11 locations in the KC Metro, in Kansas, Lansing, Olathe, Overland Park North, and on the Kansas side, no script necessary. Call them, tell them what's going on.
Call the technicians Kansas City trusts with their house keys. For over 70 years, Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric has been synonymous for getting the job done right the first time. Call Anthony today at 268-4669 or visit them at anthonyphce.com for their draft cooling special. And for only $69, they'll come out and inspect and clean your cooling system. Trust the technicians that I trust. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
America's largest all-sports radio station presents the #1 motorsports show for 2 decades, Track Talk, brought to you by Lucas Oil Products. Here are the Racing Boys, Scott Traylor and Kirk Elliott.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sports Radio 810 WHB and RBN, the Racing Boys Broadcasting Network. It's Track Talk with the Racing Boys. I'm Scott. He's Kirk. And we appreciate you. I'm not sure why the bump music is still playing, but it is. All right, anyway, I'm Scott. He's Kirk. We're the Racing Boys. Thanks for joining us here on Track Talk. It's all brought to you by Lucas Oil Products. It works. And how you doing, Kirk Kelly? You doing all right?
I'm doing good. Felt good to be at a racetrack last night.
You did.
Been a while.
It was fun because your nephew was out there racing. That made it a little extra fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great to see him run. Austin ran last night as well.
Austin ran a modified last night.
He's here with very little sleep. You and I are the ones that don't normally get the sleep.
I didn't get much last night either.
Austin's got the least of all of us.
Well,
here this morning. But he's here.
Austin, how would you grade yourself last night as a modified driver?
Well, not one of my better nights. Just
hold on. Now I just got to say it. My boy Austin here, he drove that modified in that heat race, and one time he went down into turn 3 and he drove it in there like he had a top wing on it. He went in at no less than 5 car lengths deeper than anybody else.
Well, those 5 car lengths carried me right into the center of 1, 3, and 4, and I center punched the fence and did our first spoiler damage of the year. But no, we had an off night. Just my driving style has changed since we went out to the practice night at Lakeside 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And now we're kind of chasing our setup, and we chased the setup a little bit, and then the track kind of changed on us, and it took rubber, and we were kind of out to lunch. But we know where our limit is now. But just come back next week and give it a shot again.
Right. So you like driving a modified, but not as much as the sprint car.
No, and I mean, if I like doing it all the time, I'd be racing one, full time. But no, it's fun to do something different every once in a while and kind of give you a new challenge. But I'll tell you, I do miss my sprint car. I hope the motor gets done here soon because I really want to get to racing and see how we do. But right now we're doing this, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it turned around for me.
Well, I had a good time out there last night. Let me tell you something about Lakeside Speedway last night, folks. That's one of the larger opening night crowds I've seen in a long time out there. The traffic was backed up down the street, up around the corner by the go-kart track when I showed up down there. It took a little bit to get in. Darren Bennett's got to be happy with the crowd they had last night. That was a nice size one.
Yeah, it was a good opening night crowd.
Sure.
Yeah, I didn't have to fight traffic getting out of there at all last night after the checkered flag wave, so that kind of surprised me a little bit. Usually you have to wait in a line to get out of the racetrack,
right.
But it was easy getting out last night. So.
Well, you know what? I left after Austin's heat race because I thought that was going to be a massive traffic jam getting out of that place. Now, you probably got out of there in a timely fashion, so you beat the traffic out of there. But I guarantee it, there was a traffic jam at Lakeside Speedway last night trying to get out of that place. When you tried to leave, was there a jammed up?
I can tell you at 1:30, I think it's when I left, 1:32-ish, there was traffic, but I flowed out of there within 3 or 4 minutes of pulling out of my parking spot.
But what time was that?
Probably 1:30-ish.
So that was probably about an hour or so after the race was over, right?
About
roughly.
I've been up so long. I've been up 22 hours. I don't really know what time everything is
right now. Punchy right now.
Yeah.
It was about 10 minutes to midnight or something like that when I drove out of there.
You know, that's a good car that you got there, though. You know, and that Bill's built looks like it runs good.
Yeah, well, we found a couple things with the setup last week, and it made a big difference in our hot lap session. And kind of doubt ourselves out, but no, we got a good motor and a good car. It's just driver needs to work on some stuff too. So
yeah,
that's a combination of a lot of things.
Man, we got a good show lined up for you today. We're going to play some sound from Mostly Motorsports that we did this week. One of the great interviews I think we've had, maybe one of the better interviews that we've had since we've done Mostly Motorsports, was with Philip Dietz. Philip Dietz is now the owner of JJR, Jason Johnson Racing. And we had a nice, long conversation. And the conversation that we had with him was, probably how many minutes?
30 minutes.
About 30 minutes long, but we're going to give you about 12 minutes of that interview. And then also, we spoke with Mike Mahler, who picked up the $20,000 paycheck for his race at Bulls Gap, that Kyle Larson race they had out there. He picked up the $20,000. And then the bad news yesterday, and we got the promoter on the show. Bulls Gap Volunteer Speedway has decided to close down after that race. That was shocking news yesterday, wasn't it?
It was. We go from having, one of the biggest, events at the track, in 20 years to them pulling the plug on the season yesterday at 6 o'clock in the morning. So Vic Hill had some good points, and all the reasons he gave us is why he was kind of closing the facility down for the year was valid, and kind of opened up your eyes to the inside runnings of Bulls Gap.
And they can go back and people can go back and listen to that on our podcast. What episode was that?
74.
Episode 74. Do you believe we've already done 74 episodes?
I know.
Crazy.
I told you that first week of doing 5 was the longest week I've had in a long time.
Like,
but it didn't feel like it would take off this fast.
But doesn't it feel like they're just rolling real easy right now?
Yeah, we got a good system.
Yeah, we got it down.
You did a good job dialing up Vic Hill last night, and he agreed to come on right away. So that was good.
Yeah, he's a super cool guy.
Yeah. Well, that was a miracle. We were the first ones to interview him.
We were.
Because they put that press release up like at 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
And at noon, we had him on the air. So that's a real good interview. So if you want to listen to the reason why Bulls Gap decided to close down, go back to episode 74.
Yes.
74 and listen to it. It's usually that's Fun Phone Friday that we have on Fridays. It's usually just Kirk and Austin and I just sitting around shooting the bull. But when the news came out that Bulls Gap was going to close down, we reached out to the promoter and we got him on the show. Interesting conversation.
I really applaud Vic Hill. They put out this press release, and there was a lot of quotes in the release about the reasoning of why they're doing what they're doing. And for him to be available to come on and do interviews like that, that's the way you handle stuff like that. If you're going to put a release out and do something like that, even if it's not all positive, make yourself available. Be transparent. Come out like Vic Hill did yesterday and answer questions. Yeah. Good for him.
So did you watch any of the racing last night, Kirk? Did you watch Williams Grove? Brent Marks picks up the win. Williams Grove.
I did that. Yeah. I did that. The biggest race that sticks in my mind is the midget race at Port City Raceway last night, where Justin Grant got into Chase McDermott, who led most of that race. And Justin didn't. He wasn't very happy that he did that.
I know that, but listen.
He won.
Did you watch the post-race interview Did you see the post-race interview that Justin did? Do we have it?
We have it. We can play it.
Let's play it real quick.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, if we can play that real quick. He was very apologetic about getting into Chase.
Yeah, he didn't like to win races that way.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes you got to do it, right?
Yeah.
Are you ready, Austin? All right, this is Justin Grant after his win down last night at Port City in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
With the driver out of Ione, California. Justin, a pretty cool notch on your belt tonight. The first driver to win 3 USAC National Midget races to start off the season. What a cool stat for you and this team.
Yeah, it's a cool stat. It's great for NOS Energy Drink, great for RMS Racing. Feel terrible with what happened there with Chase. I slid him 8-10 times there and never hit him, faded up behind him. And I don't know if when they called yellow as I was peeling across on my slider, and I don't know if he slowed up a little bit and didn't get all the way to the cushion where he had been, or if I just plugged him. But either way, I feel terrible about that. I feel like I crashed a guy under yellow. It certainly wasn't my intent. I didn't crash him 6 times before that. So that doesn't feel good, but it's good to get my guys. They work hard and they didn't crash anybody, so so they deserve to be down here. And I can't say enough about this NOS Energy Drink, RMS and EnviroFab 2J team. They're incredible. They give me a great car, and man, I'm just having a ton of fun racing this thing and racing with all these guys. And I can't really say a whole lot about what happened down there, other than I'm sorry it happened, and it wasn't my intent. It's a real glass slick across the center there, and I don't know if I knew when they called yellow. I was like, well, keep going, bud, keep going, because I'm coming behind you, and you've got no control coming across the glass like that. So I don't know if yellow light's coming on and them telling us on the radio yellow if he slowed up and I couldn't. Not real sure what happened. Either way, he turned over and I drove on, and I feel terrible about that.
This track tonight, as you mentioned, is very slick all the way up to a big curb, and it looked like you and everybody else were having a tough time handling that. So how fun was it to race on a track like this one here tonight?
Yeah, racetrack was awesome. It was a ton of fun. It had a bunch of character, which is fun. It makes it tough. And down at that, like on restarts when the tire pressure would get down low, it was a handful. But once we got going, my car was really stable against the curb. I felt really, really good. It's good to win, but I hate to win them like that.
That's Justin Grant. Now,
all right, that's Justin Grant after his win. Cut that off there. That was Justin Grant after his win last night down at Port City Raceway in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Buddy Kofoid come home second. Kaylee Bryson was third. Cannon McIntosh was fourth. Logan Seavey rounded out the top 5. So.
Thanks to Flow Racing for allowing us to use that interview on their broadcast. Drake York doing the interview, by the way.
Sorry, Kirk. Did you hear all the boos in the background?
Yeah, they weren't real happy with him, were they?
No.
Hey, but Chase McDermott had a great Saturday night. Last Saturday night at I-55 Speedway, another rough racetrack. Chase McDermott won that Power I and race over at I-55. So
it kind of works out.
Congratulations to him.
That you win your first Power I race, and now you're contending in a USAC race, and
the
first one's the hardest one to get, as anybody else knows. So you knock the first one out, you're kind of king of the world after that.
Right. That's kind of like what we're going to do this year. You're going to get your first ASCS win, and then it's going to be gangbusters after that. But
I would really not appreciate that. Enjoy that.
Yeah, right.
That would be good.
Only a matter of time. That win is coming.
Yeah, that's
only
for sure.
A matter of time.
Good car count down there last night. Did you hear what the final car count was down there, Kurt?
I did not
at Port City?
see what it was at Port City. Looks like, 927 cars, look like.
My race pass doesn't have them.
Oh, it doesn't have it on there? Nope. All right.
27 cars ran the 3 heat races, so.
All right. Well, that's a good car count down there, 27.
Or no, I take that back. 27, no, more than that. 30, they ran 4 heat races. So it looks like 37 cars showed up down there last night.
That's a nice number. People love racing in Port City, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nice little racetrack for midgets down there and micros. You couldn't. Do you think you could run a full-size sprint car on Port?
Oh, no. They tried to do that at Sweet Springs last year, and Sweet Springs is bigger than Port City, and
Was it a nightmare?
Yes. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it's just too small.
Great for midgets.
Not wide enough?
No, Sweet Springs is a 6 mile, so it rolls out to be like a 0.18, and Port City's an 8th mile, so it's a 0.125. So, I mean, way too tight to try and run a sprint car around it.
Yeah. Good for sprint cars, so Port
They had
City
non-wing cars there, and that's what they had last year, right? Non-wing cars?
It was the non-wing Power Ice Series at Sweet Springs. They're actually going to go back this year and run
They're going to try
a full
it again.
show.
They're going to try to do it again?
Last year was just an invite-only, like King of the Hill 6-car event, just to test it out.
I see.
They ran at Lucas Oil Speedway last night, the first of 2 nights for the Lucas Oil MLRA Spring Nationals. Johnny Scott, who has won at Lucas Oil Speedway in the MLRA before, remember being down there, seeing him win a race a couple of years ago. He picked up the feature victory last night, leading the entire distance after starting on the pole as he beat Jason Papich. Stormy Scott ends up 3rd, Chris Simpson 4th, and Cole Wells rounding out the top 5 down at Lucas Oil Speedway. They'll do it again tonight.
Yeah. I might go down there tonight. I'm thinking about it. You know, it's so hard, Kirk. It's really hard to leave this room when you have all the races going on down here. You know it? We've got all these TVs down here.
You don't want to miss anything. That's the thing. You don't want to miss anything.
You just don't want to miss anything.
That's right.
And that's where I was at last night. I wanted to get home so I could watch everything, and I missed the All-Stars, the final race for the All-Stars last night.
You watched, I watched the replay of Brent Marks holding off Lance DeWeese at Williams Grove Speedway last night.
Right.
In the All-Stars.
Danny Dietrich, Tyler Courtney, and Anthony Macri finally didn't win last night.
His 4-race winning streak
is over, right? But he's won 6 races this year.
Right.
The hottest 410 driver in the country is Anthony Macri. 6 wins this year.
And guess who runs the best at Port Royal? Anthony Macri.
Yeah, he wins a lot there. So he might
that's in his wheelhouse.
But aren't you a little shocked that he ran 5th last night?
Yeah, but I don't know where he started in that race.
Austin? Anthony Macri, he started 5th. Yeah, he started 5th. Ran 5th, started 5th.
I mean, he won there last week.
But aren't you a little surprised he didn't make a little more gains there?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, looking at the highlights here, I mean, it looks like it was kind of, I don't want to say heavy, but it was...
kind of fast and narrow, maybe?
Yeah, a little faster than Williams Grove usually is. Usually they have a little more shine to it.
Right.
But when you're outrun by Brent Marks, Lance DeWeese, Danny Dietrich, and Tyler Courtney, that's not so bad.
It's a pretty good group of guys. Man, I got to keep saying it. Parker Price Miller last night ran 6th.
Yeah.
He did.
I just can't get over that he's going through chemo treatments, and he drives the race car as hard as he drives.
That's amazing.
Are you guys impressed by that at all?
Stunning.
I thought I seen a deal where they went back and checked it for his cancer, and was it gone? I don't remember. He went back in for let's say a wellness check on it to see if it dissipated or if it's still lit. I never heard the results on it, so I don't know if he's done doing the treatments or
in remission, maybe.
Yeah, that's what it's called. I couldn't think of what the name of it was.
He's in remission right now.
I think so. Don't hold me to it, but I think that's what they said.
But he just finished up those treatments.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'll try and find it here in the break.
Down in Florida, he ran right in the middle of taking all those.
Do they call him the law firm because of his name, yes. Parker Price Miller?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing what he's done to continue racing like that.
I don't like that nickname, the law firm.
Who came up with that?
I don't know, but I don't like it. Parker Price Miller, the law firm, Parker Price Miller. I don't know, man. Come on, give him something better than the law firm. Right? No, you
I don't know.
You're okay with that?
I don't. It doesn't affect me.
To you.
No.
I'm kind of funny with nicknames.
The Macedos had a good week after Carson Macedo won at I-55 last Saturday night. Cole Macedo wins the 410 race at Attica Speedway last night.
Did you see that Dylan Westbrook won the NRA 360 event at Attica?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, that's Carson Macedo's brother, right?
Yeah, he won the 410s.
But it was a 360 he was running last time.
No, Westbrook won the 360s.
That was a 410?
Macedo was running a 410.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't think he's as talented as Carson, though, is he? He's younger.
I've never really paid attention to him that much until he kind of started. He was a big California kid with the Tarleton team for a while, and he's kind of come to the East Coast, and you're starting to see more of him. So I don't really have an opinion on him just yet, but he's starting to kind of, get his feet under himself.
See, Marie agrees with me. She says that Parker deserves a better nickname. And Michael says, sorry, I think it's a pretty cool nickname. So I guess it's just depend on who it is.
I'm curious to who came up with that for him.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
Tyler Erb wins a thriller in the World of Outlaw Late Models at Atomic Speedway last night, outrunning Josh Rice to the wire, Tanner English, Dennis Erb Jr., and Jacob Hawkins rounding out the top 5 out at Atomic Speedway. I didn't see that race, but I hope that track was a lot better shape than it was last Saturday night for that USAC sprint car race.
I'll give a shout out to John. He's listening in upstate New York, so we always love it when people tell us where they're listening from the show. We've been just really cranking it out over the country for the last 74 episodes on Mostly Motorsports. I think we're averaging like 44 states a day, so that's pretty cool.
World Outlaws got rained out last night at Tri-City Speedway. They'll try it again at Hobstadt tonight, Tri-State Speedway, so see the Outlaws. But I'm looking forward to that All-Star race at Port Royal tonight. I love that Port Royal.
Sure.
That might be
good.
My favorite half-mile racetrack right now, Port Royal Speedway. And a lot of it has to do with the way they prep that racetrack. So we've seen some great racing on that track the last couple of years.
You're going to make me stay home tonight.
Well, you can always go to the track and then watch these races. You can watch these races later, on...
No, because when they're over and I know who won, I'm not going to go back and watch them.
Try not to know who won before you watch it.
No.
That makes it more fun that way.
I can't look at my phone and not see who wins. Right?
You could also watch the Knoxville Raceway season opener tonight if it doesn't get rained out.
Yeah, that's...
I did see a video Tony Bachhoven put on Facebook last night of them blading the track after they canceled the practice session. So
yeah,
they're going to try to get it in.
Yeah, we'll see.
That'd be good, man. I'd love to watch some Knoxville tonight. That'd be really good. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to play an interview that we did with Philip Dietz during Mostly Motorsports this week. If you're not familiar with Mostly Motorsports, we're on Monday through Friday, 12 noon Central Time. And it's Austin and I, and we do this show every day, and it's a national show, and we talk about everything and anything that's going on around the country. So if you'd like to tune in, again, that's Monday through Friday, 12 noon Central Time. It's called Mostly Motorsports, and it's brought to you by Lucas Oil Products. It works, and we just hang out here and have a good time. So if you want to join us, Monday through Friday, again, 12 noon Central Time, you can watch it on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, RacingBoys.com, and then as soon as the show's over, we pull it all down off of all those platforms, and then you can find it wherever you find your favorite podcast. So you can watch it live, or you can go back and listen to it on the podcast.
And just a reminder, they're going to start an hour earlier tonight at Lucas Oil Speedway, and I just noticed...
They're trying to beat the rain, right?
They're trying to beat the rain, and Hot Laps at Knoxville at 6:15 tonight.
You know what? That means I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to sit right here. I might play some pool and watch some races tonight. That might be
that before.
I've done that before. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, more of Track Talk right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Track Talk. As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinion, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
Hey, Kansas City, it's Brian Pringle with Victory Ford at the Legends in KCK. It's our mission to be the automotive home of drivers in the Kansas City area. We provide a vast selection of new and pre-owned vehicles, exceptional car care, and customer service with a smile. Fantastic customer service doesn't end when the sale does. Our dealership also staffs a fantastic on-site auto service and repair center. Whether you're a first-time buyer or have years of experience, Victory Ford can help you. Stop by at the Legends or online at victoryfordkc.com, where our first price is better than our last.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I'm attorney Mike DePasquale. After a car wreck, the last thing you want to do is trust the insurance company. These insurance companies try to rip off good people every single day. My law firm won't let you get ripped off. We'll fight to get you all the money you deserve, and you don't pay us a dime unless we win your case. If you've been hurt, call me. I've got this.
Mike's got this. All you need to know, 816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
More energy, better sleep, and so much happier. 40 pounds lighter and still going strong. Shaman's Leewood Total Wellness has changed my life. 2 words, guys. It works. Tell your friends, tell your wife, tell anyone who wants to lose some weight and live a better life. Call or stop by for a free consultation. Mention 810 and get $100 off your startup fee. Shaman's Leewood Total Wellness, 117th and Row in Leewood, or call 913-227-9150. Life is better with the feather.
Start your weekend with great specials at your Hen House Butcher Block. 80% lean ground chuck, ground fresh several times each day, just $3.99 a pound. USDA Choice Certified Hereford Beef Top Sirloin Steak is only $5.99 a pound. Or get the best tasting chicken around. Fresh, never frozen chicken breast, only $3.99 a pound. And if it's seafood you're craving, try some fresh Atlantic salmon portions, 6 ounces, just $6 each. And Harry's Brewery always has you covered with weekly specials on all your craft and domestic beer favorites. Visit henhouse.com for these specials and more. Hen House, serving your family since 1923.
Jayhawk fans, season tickets for the 2022 Kansas football season are on sale for as low as $185. We need you in the booth waving the wheat this fall and supporting Coach Leipold and the Jayhawks. Get your tickets now at kuathletics.com/tickets or by calling 800-34-HAWKS.
To the end zone, he's in! Touchdown Jayhawks!
Your home for the NFL Draft. Sports Radio 810, WHB.
You know, I don't probably foresee a huge jump up just throwing a haymaker and trying to get in the top 10. We'll be flexible and we'll let the board talk to us, and if there's value, we will, and if not, we'll just stay put. We're going to build through the draft and having 12 picks and having flexibility year in and year out. We're excited to add talent on both sides of the football and work through the draft and get young and get deep.
Exclusive live coverage of the NFL Draft is coming to your home for the NFL. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Foley Rental is your local equipment rental store for commercial, industrial, farm, and residential project needs with a large fleet of aerial lifts, generators, trench shoring, air conditioners, and concrete equipment. And Foley Rental offers a wide selection of machine attachments for skid steers, excavators, and loaders, all supported by over 400 certified technicians. Foley Rental, committed to you from the ground up. Call 855-RENT-FOLEY or visit FoleyRental.com.
Owning a business comes with pressure. There's a limit to what I can do and still keep employees engaged. Fortunately, there's Insperity. They put 30-plus years of HR experience to work to help me with hiring, training, HR administration, and compliance, while giving my employees competitive benefit options. And because I'm able to focus on other priorities, my employees can thrive and my business can grow. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Who's ready to get a little Western? This is Garrett Jurgen, your 2022 American Royal Pro Rodeo announcer. Join me in watching the toughest sport on dirt at the American Royal Complex, May 5th through the 7th. Come down before the rodeo to shop our vendor fair, grab a bite from one of our food trucks, and a cold drink from the beer garden. Fiesta all night long with a Cinco de Mayo celebration Thursday night, and wear your best hat to our Kentucky Derby watch party on Saturday. Release your inner cowboy and buy your tickets at AmericanRoyal.com.
Welcome back to Track Talk here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Don't forget, hour number 2 is exclusively on our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and RacingBoys.com pages if you want to watch the show. You can watch 2 hours if you'd like. We're live in our studios. We've got cameras here. We're doing it live. We play a lot of video as we're doing the show. So if you ever want to check out what we're doing in studio, you can do so again on our Facebook page, Twitter, YouTube, or racingboys.com. Want to thank 7K Racing from checking in from Minnesota. Thank you guys up there. Appreciate you. All right, so this week, what day did we do this interview, Austin? Do you remember? Thursday. We hadn't talked to Philip Dietz. And, Philip Dietz was Jason Johnson's crew chief. And they had a lot of accomplishments over the years. They won 5 championships, 4 of them when I was out on the national tour, traveling with them. And, after Jason's death, Bobby kind of took over the team and kind of ran the team. But as time went on and Jack grew up and he has to go to school, it was obvious that somebody else was going to have to run the team. And it's turned out that Philip Dietz is now the owner of JJR. And I had a discussion with him on Thursday, and this is the discussion I had with Philip Dietz, the owner of JJR. I got to talk about 2016 when you won the Nationals for the first time with Jason. I don't know if anybody, the crowd was so excited. You could feel the energy in Knoxville that night. I want to know what your feelings were when Jason wins that first Knoxville Nationals for you guys as a team.
Yeah, that was huge. Obviously the highlight of his career, and we knew that we had a fast race car. We had a lot of confidence going in the final night, and I felt like he was about as motivated as ever. Spent a lot of time watching videos and just studying where he felt he needed to be on the track that night. And we knew that the competition was going to be tough. Obviously, Donnie's had a lot of good runs there, and we knew that he was going to be one of the main guys to beat that night. But we went in there with a lot of confidence, especially him. And, I felt like we were pretty decent the first half of the race, but under that caution, we made some adjustments. And I could tell just talking to him those few minutes that he was going to do anything it took to win that race. And, obviously he gave it 100%. And I think that's what really excited the crowd that night, not only to have somebody else other than Donnie win the race, but to see the battle that they put on and to see the determination that Jason had to go out and win was really, really cool to see. And I think it'll definitely, go down as one of the best races or one of the best Knoxville Nationals races ever.
I have to agree with you there. So after Jason's passing, you and Bobby decided to keep the team going. Talk about that moment after Jason's passing, and that, man, how difficult of a decision was it for you guys to keep the team rolling?
It was really tough. We were all really lost and not really sure what to do for a long time. It was Jason Johnson Racing. It was all about Jason and his performance, and he's the boss. He kind of ran the show, and to lose your leader like that was really tough, and a lot of confusion. And we kind of just assumed that things would come to an end. We would put everything for sale and kind of move on with our lives and find something different. But as time went on, we sat down with a lot of our sponsors, and, they were all behind us and supportive to see the team continue on, mainly in honor of Jason. And so it was really tough at first, very different, to walk in the shop and not have him there, but to continue on and go to the racetrack and do the very best you could to go out and, give it your best effort to win.
Yeah. I know that you and Bobby were meshed together, but eventually you came down to where you were going to take over the team. Talk about that transition there a little bit.
Well, we knew, at the end of 2018, we had all decided as a team, me and Bobby, all of our sponsors, that we definitely wanted to give it a go in 2019 and kind of take things from there. And that's kind of how we had done things before, even when Jason was here. You just never know what can happen in racing. Things change, so you have to you can't it's hard to make a long-term goal. I mean, you can, but you have to be realistic and know that things can change. So we were confident that we could go out and run a full season in 19, but then after that, kind of reconsider things. And if everything was still going well, we would continue on. But towards the end of 19, obviously we all had a lot of changes in our lives. I got married. Bobby Jax became very involved in school and in sports, and it got to where it was really tough for her to travel to these races again. And I could kind of see, and obviously with Jason being gone, things are different. I think
tough.
No matter what, blood, racing will always be in her blood. But it's just different not having him here. And I could kind of see that, especially towards the end of 19. But we continued on. We ran another year in 2020. Obviously, everything that took place with COVID and everything that year kind of really changed or mixed things up a bit. But then by the end of that year, I could really tell, that things were becoming tough for her and that she wanted to scale back from it. I think she's still really involved or really enjoys being involved on the merchandise side of things and keeping those connections with friends and fans. And, thankfully we were able to put something together. To be honest, like in 2020, I had an opportunity to run a second car with Parker Price Miller, and the name of the team was Dietz Motorsports. And I know at the time there was a lot of confusion about what was going on with that, but the bottom line, like we really just didn't know the future of Jason Johnson Racing. And, there were times where I thought maybe Bob just wanted to sell everything completely and be completely done with it. But we sat down the end of 2020. We were all in agreement that we would like to see the team continue. She did want to take a step back, though, as owner, and offer the opportunity for me to kind of take over and keep it going. And then obviously everyone agreed that we wanted to keep the name of the team the same, Jason Johnson Racing, in honor of Jason, and try to continue his legacy. And things, I don't think they could have worked out any better than they have. Not only did we obtain great guys, great crew members, great drivers, but we've also have a list again of great sponsors who have not only supported this team over the last couple of years, but some of them have been on for multiple years. So it's been so far it's been a very smooth transition, and I feel like all of us are happy with how things have played out.
Philip, I hate to keep you so long, but I got to ask you, how difficult is it? I think we all look at these World of Outlaw teams and we think, oh man, they've got all this cash flow and everything, but how difficult is it to own and manage a top flight World of Outlaws team? How difficult is that task?
It is challenging. Obviously it was very different for me last year because it was kind of my first time to not only do the crew chief side, you have all those roles, but then to also take on the management side of things and make sure that, all the bills were paid and the guys were getting paid. And, I have to thank my wife, Brooke Dietz. She's definitely stepped up and helped me a lot in the whole process, which has made my life a lot easier, but definitely different. I think I try to take care of all the business side during the week, all the emails and relationships, and then come race day, I just kind of put on my old crew chief hat again and focus just on going out and doing the best I can to give Carson a great car to go out and be competitive. But it's been challenging, but then again, I love taking on new challenges, and so far I've had a great time with this new opportunity.
It seems like you and Carson Macedo have a great relationship, good chemistry, and it takes that to be successful at that level, right?
It does, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's more to just having a good car. Like it takes someone that you can relate to and communicate well with, and I think that Carson and I have that. He does a great job behind the wheel. He definitely gives 100%, and I've been I think it's kind of in my blood. I'm a very competitive person myself. So, I do everything I can to give him the best car possible as well. So definitely a great guy. We actually have a really good friendship outside of racing, hang out quite a bit. He does spend a lot of time here in Missouri in between races. So we get to hang out, go play some golf on off days every once in a while. And he's been a super great fit for our team.
How good a golf player is he? Is he good?
He's actually not bad. I'm terrible, but he actually does a pretty good job.
Yeah. Last weekend, picked up the win down there at Pevely. Man, that was a challenging conditions down there, to say the least, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, very stressful conditions. But, Mother Nature's been pretty tough on us lately, and it was no different in that situation. I think it sounds like they had gotten a lot of rain that week, and we didn't have favorable track conditions, but unfortunately that's
it's just part of
the name of the game sometimes. And we're all racing on the same track, so you have to make the very best of it. And thankfully for us, I felt like we had some lucky breaks that night. We qualified decent, but we won our heat race, managed to draw the pole position for the dash, which put us kind of in the hunt, or at least made our chances better. And then there at the start of the race, things kind of got hairy, and on that first restart, actually, he was still in the lead. So
yeah.
I think being up front on a heavy racetrack, on a rough racetrack, definitely makes it a little bit easier for the driver to kind of maintain and hold his position. But I also feel like, we felt like we made some really good calls throughout the night to make him more comfortable and give him a car that could be competitive. So thankfully everything played out. I feel like, I think
it worked out
we were
okay.
all very happy with our result.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty close. McFadden right there. You guys nearly got into him while you were leading the race. And then I think Joe B. Miller's left rear tire come off when you guys were right behind him. Those are a couple lucky breaks along the way.
Yeah. It was a definitely exciting feature. A lot of cautions. I knew we were kind of getting close on fuel, and that kind of made it even more stressful. But, as a fan, I think it was pretty wild to see, but as a crew chief car owner, kind of tough. And I know as a driver, I'm sure it was quite a handful for him as well. But
right,
still a good race overall.
Yeah. All right, there you have it. That was Philip Dietz on Mostly Motorsports this week. A reminder, if you want to watch Mostly Motorsports every Monday through Friday, 12 noon Central Time. It's a national show. We talk about everything that's going on around the country. Got a lot of great people that tune in. I want to thank Kelly, who's listening from Central Point, Oregon right now. I want to thank them for tuning in to this morning's Track Talk. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to play an interview that we did with Mike Muller. Mike Muller picked up the $20,000 50-lap feature at Bulls Gap, Tennessee, the last race at Bulls Gap, folks. They closed down that facility yesterday, and the guy that won the last race there was Mike Muller, and we're going to talk to him when we come back right here on Track Talk.
Track Talk. Next to your vehicle's engine, your transmission is the most important component of your car. If it's not properly maintained, your car may not shift properly. By adding Lucas Transmission Fix to your transmission, it cleans and lubricates sticking valves for proper shifting, renews worn bands to stop slipping, stops seal leaks, will not void new car warranties, contains no harmful solvents. Lucas Transmission Fix. It works.
As Kansas City weather shifts to rain along with some sun and more rain, I bet you're thinking about your roof. Greg Gurley here for Buck Roofing. If you've been putting off repair or replacement, use the company I recommend, Buck Roofing. For trusted residential and commercial roof repair or replacement, gutters too, in Kansas City and now in my favorite town, Lawrence, Kansas. It's Buck Roofing, online at rbuckroofing.com. Sleep well knowing Buck fixed the roof over your head.
Hey, it's Eddie here, and Ram is on a never-ending quest to truly redefine what a truck can do and be. So forget everything you know about trucks. The Ram 1500 exceeds all expectations with available features like a 12-inch touchscreen, digital rear-view mirror, multifunctional tailgate. The list goes on. And the Ram 1500's design, quality, and technology are incredibly impressive. So if you're thinking about switching trucks, now is the perfect time. Learn more at ram.com. That's ram.com.
You can keep your grass green and lush all year long with a new sprinkler system from Summit Lawn and Landscape. Call Summit Lawn and Landscape today at 816-966-9434 to design a water-efficient system for your home and never drag a hose again. 816-966-9434. Summit Lawn and Landscape provides complete lawn maintenance, including mowing, fertilization, and landscape installation, maintenance, and design. Call 816-966-9434 or go to summitlawn.com. Over 35 years ago, Wholesale Batteries opened their doors and sold their first battery. Times have changed, but their commitment to customer service is the same. The commitment they made back in 1977 stays true today. Wholesale Battery is one of the largest distributors of motorcycle batteries in the country. Stop in for anything you need for your motorcycle. They also have you taken care of for all your lawnmower needs, laptops, ATVs, power sports, computer backups, cell phones, portable electronics. When it comes to batteries, these guys have it all. Call 913-342-0113 or at wholesalebatteries.net. The right battery the first time.
Hi, Tyler Reed. ReedBuickGMC.com has over 200 Reed-certified pre-owned trucks, SUVs, and cars ready for delivery. The Carfax, up-to-date maintenance details, and market-based pricing are all at your fingertips. Photos, videos, and all the details you need to make a decision on your next vehicle. Visit ReedBuickGMC.com today or call now 800-291-9406 and shop with confidence. Reed Buick GMC is values driven.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I'm attorney Mike DePasquale. I played linebacker. I won a state championship. I played Division I ball. I know a thing or two about winning. The winning attitude starts with confidence. My law firm is so confident in what we do that if we take your injury case and we don't win, you don't pay us a dime. So if you've been hurt, call me. My team wants to win for you. I've got this.
Mike's got this, all you need to know. 816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, this is SSJ here to share some window wisdom with you. Straight from the experts at Window Nation. You know, spring brings some wild weather changes. On warm days, you want to ease open your windows, but on cold nights, you need to seal them up tight. If your old windows are sticking or drafty, they're not just a pain to operate, they're costing you money. Get your degree in savings during Window Nation's spring break sale. Get 2 free windows for every 2 you buy for as many as you need and make no down payment and pay no interest for 24 months. 2 full years, no payments. Just call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. They've installed over 1 million windows in over 125,000 homes, saving customers over $60 million in energy costs. Call Window Nation, 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, plus no payments and no interest for 24 months. Visit windownation.com now. Window Nation, the perfect fit.
Welcome back to Track Talk here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Track Talk is brought to you by Lucas Oil Products. It works. And Kirk, this week we had a chance to talk to Mike Marlar.
Yeah, Mike Marlar has turned into one of our favorite guys from the late model ranks. He's now a 3-time late model Knoxville Nationals champion. And most recently, after destroying his car at Bristol, they built a brand-new race car, took it to Volunteer Speedway at Bulls Gap, and won the Kyle Larson Challenge and the $20,000 that went with it. And on Tuesday, on Mostly Motorsports, Scott had a chance to visit with Mike Marlar. Here's a portion of that conversation.
We've been talking about a lot here on the show in the last few days, in the last week or so. Are you a little concerned about the whole Hoosier Tire deal? Because, man, they can't get the nylon, the petroleum, all this thing going on. We're hearing about Williams Grove might not have enough tires to race up there. We're hearing about Hoosier not having enough tires. Are you concerned about the season and the tire situation?
Yeah, I'm real concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm real concerned. It's concerning for me from, I've got some buddies that own racetracks. That's to me, it's the one thing we got to have, and the last thing in racing I'd want to own is a racetrack, and they just don't need any. They don't need any difficult. They don't need it to be any harder.
Yep, because they don't make enough money as it is anyway. To be honest with you,
I feel like that the actual tracks are on the short end of the stick. Vic Hill put that deal on with Flo and all that there last week, and I just know what kind of effort he put into that, and it's tough for the promoter or the track owner. He assumes a lot of the risk, and and it could go a lot of ways for the guy that owns the racetrack. And if we don't have any tires this week, I can just put my race car on jack stands and it don't eat anything.
Right.
And those racetracks aren't that way, so it concerns me for sure. Number one, for the tracks, and then just from there the spread out of beyond that. But it's a major concern for all of us.
Yeah, we're visiting with Mike Marlar. He picked up that $20,000 to win at Bulls Gap. Do you think we're going to get to a point during the season where they're going to have to cancel some races because we're going to be short on tires? Do you think we'll get to that?
That's what I'm hearing. I sure hope not.
Yeah.
One thing, with the fuel prices being up now, and it may slow some of the racing down, because we have been, they had the pandemic and the shortages, and then on top of that, now we race more than we've ever raced. So it's just
right.
It's just something that's kind of caught up with Hoosier. They're going as fast as they can. They just can't keep up, and the only way this is going to work out is maybe that there's just less people racing, and it's just I don't know. I don't know enough to have a real strong opinion on it, but I know that it's a major concern.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope for sure, and we hate it for the promoters because they make their hay at the start of the season and at the end of the season, because the heat of the summer, a lot of people don't like to go to the racetracks, right? Because it's too hot. And so they got to make their money at the beginning, at the end of the season, and that's what I'm concerned about. The promoters making their money right now and at the end of the season, and I'm just afraid that a lot of them are not going to make it through the summer.
Yeah, and I don't know that say I was thinking about IMCA, like your IMCA hobby stocks.
Yeah.
Like say the IMCA hobby stocks run just like a radial tire, right?
Yep.
And then IMCA modifieds run a
McQuarrie. Yeah.
A McQuarrie tire, which I don't think there's a shortage on those.
There is.
I don't know.
There is a shortage on that. We just got a bulletin that McQuarrie is going to have an issue with their tires as well. And if you think about that in the grand scheme of things, with A mods, B mods, E mods, there's more modifieds in this country than anything else, right? If they run out of tires, it's going to be a really big deal.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they figure out a way to put them. I don't know what they do. I don't know if they got to put them radials that they run on the hobby stocks on the E mods. I don't know what they got to do, but
yeah.
The one thing we always say to the tire companies is like, we really don't care what kind of tire you have, as long as everybody's on the same one. In some instances, the worse it is, the better it is,
Right.
And as far as the racing goes, low grip, stuff that's low grip and slides around and has a good a long wear pattern, is not bad. So I don't know what they do, but it's definitely, like I said, it's a concern. I don't know. We just try to stay in front of it, and not only tires. I mean, we're sitting there with one race car right now, and they're backed up on race cars.
Oh boy.
And then it was motors, and we finally kind of got over the hump on motors, and I feel like we're kind of in a safe zone on motors. But it's kind of everything across the board, and it's bad timing for all that because. Our sport's in such a great place. There's so many people watching, so many viewers. I was over the NASCAR race at Bristol, and you wouldn't believe how many people come up to me and congratulated me and told me they had watched the race or they were over there, at Bulls Gap watching or either watched on Flow. So we've got more viewership and more attention on our sport right now than we've ever had, I think, in history.
Now we're talking about, well, we might not be able to provide you content because we can't get a tire or a motor or something. So it's a weird place to be in for sure.
Bad time. Some solid points right there by Mike Mahler. Concerned about the late model tires. I think that's the biggest story in motorsports right now is what are we going to do with tires? What if Hoosier runs out of tires? What if McCrary runs out of tires? This is the biggest topic in the country right now. Would you agree, Austin?
It is, and like you're talking, with Mike there, that, American Racer, which is, McCreary, was now known as American Racer.
Right.
They shut down production Monday the 18th, which was just this past Monday, and they finally opened. They were shut down for 2 or 3 days, and I think they got nylon in on maybe Thursday morning. They were able to start production again, but look at it. We're already starting to shut down plants because they can't get materials to make tires.
Right. It's the nylon is the real problem.
Yes.
Petroleum makes the nylon, and that's the whole problem right
And
there.
they've been having some labor issues, too.
Yeah.
Getting enough people to produce the product.
I think Hoosier's in a worse spot compared to American Racer. I think American Racer's a little better off.
Yeah, I do too. But we know who's not going to be without tires. Formula One and NASCAR.
Yeah.
Neither one of those guys is going to run out of tires.
IndyCar
right?
too.
Right.
Any TV national touring series will not run out of tires.
Right.
That is a fact. We saw Mike Marlar race in the dirt race for the trucks at Bristol.
Yeah.
Had a 16th place finish.
Well, he was up to 12th at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, he talks about that, earlier in the episode. So episode 71, you can catch the full interview, and we got into pretty good topics with them.
I thought all you got to do is go to the racingboys.com homepage and click on the banner. It says Mostly Motorsports. It'll take you right to all the podcast.
Yep.
How about Buddy Kofoid? He was running up towards the front there till spun around.
He was running third, I think he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, at one point. All right, well, there you have it, folks. That's our show for today. We are so glad that you tuned in. We got people, we just had somebody chime in. I can't remember where it was from. Said, that was from Oregon. Anyway, Marie said, how did you do last night, Austin? Where'd you end up? What was your final spot?
12th. Started 12th, finished 12th.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Bring it home in one piece. That's
big
the
night
most
for
important
Tanner
thing.
Mullins, who held off a hard-charging Nick Bittinger, who came from 15th starting spot. He ended up second in that.
I hope they never shorten up Lakeside Speedway.
No.
Austin Siebert had a good run last night.
He did really good.
Fourth, I believe.
Third or fourth, yeah. He won a championship driving for me in 2004. Did you know that?
I do remember that now. That
he won the USST championship driving my super truck. So he won the JRP championship down in Tulsa and the USST national championship as well. He got 2 championships, 2 Rookie of the Years in the same season.
Heavy hitters out there last night with Austin Siebert finishing third, Darren Fuqua fourth, and Tyler Hibner running in the top 5. Kerry Davis and Tim Carrick got past Dennis Elliott and Justin Johnson on that last restart.
Yeah.
So had some pretty good runners in that 8. You were running up against some pretty hefty competition last night.
Yeah, I had the best and the worst heat race. The best heat race in competition and the worst for me.
That was loaded. That heat race you were in was absolutely loaded.
Siebert, Dennis Elliott, Tanner Mullins, Nick Bittinger, and Tim Carrick.
That was pretty stacked.
That was stacked.
Yeah.
But Tim Shields got disqualified last night in the stock car class.
Do we know why?
And we don't know why. But Kevin Anderson was handed the win.
You got his phone number.
Well, I might text him. Maybe I'll do that.
Shadron Turner winning the B-Mod class at Lakeside last night, and other winners were Mick Ross in the pure stock class and Zach Nick. I'm going to say that name.
Nish.
Zach Nish in the E-Mod class.
All right.
There
How about that, Austin, helping you for a
Thank
change?
you. I appreciate that. But we had a good time out at the racetrack last night. It was
Right.
fun,
How much
fun
time
to
we
get
got,
out.
Blake? All right.
It was. Oh, by the way, Tim McCready won a $25,000 late model race at the Alltech Speedway down in Florida last night. That was part of that XR series. That is that Barry Braun deal that they have going on down there.
Yeah.
So that's a big payday for Tim McCready last night. So I'm not sure where they're going to run tonight.
Right. Well, we want to thank everybody for tuning into Track Talk. We're going to do it all over one more hour. You can watch it on RacingBoys.com Facebook page, Twitter, YouTube, and RacingBoys.com. We hope that you'll join us over there. Hour number 2 is a little bit different than hour number 1. We kind of loosen up a little bit, enjoy it a little bit more. We hope that you'll join us over there again, hour number 2, on our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and RacingBoys.com. For Todd Surprise, for Austin O'Neill, for Kirk Elliott, I'm Scott Traylor saying thank you so much for tuning in. We hope that you'll join us hour number 2. It's right around the corner, and it's all brought to you by Lucas Oil Products. It works. We want to thank Lucas Oil for all their support over the last 11 or 12 years they've been with us, Kirk. It's hard to believe they've been with us that long, isn't it?
They've been great supporters.
Yeah.
And that also a call out to Bob Douglas over there at Rod End Supply.
Right.
He's been our longest supporter.
Been with us since day one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Again, for Todd, for Austin, for Kirk, I'm Scott. We'll see you hour number 2 coming up right here on RBN, the Racing Boys Broadcasting Network.
Playoffs continue on ESPN Radio.
Thanks, my man.
Hey, no problem. Just sorry about the opener.
Oh, it's all good, bro.
That's why Lucas Oil takes automotive protection so seriously. Lucas heavy-duty oil stabilizer bonds with motor oil to shield engines from heat and wear. So take pride in caring for your car and pass that pride and knowledge to the next generation for years of smooth, reliable driving on the long road ahead. Trust Lucas Oil. It works.
Rod End Supply is involved with a variety of motorsports as well as industrial applications with many different types of products. Since 1989, Rod End Supply has provided superior products priced competitively. Whether you're racing at the circle track or drag strip, rock climbing, or going off-road, Rod End Supply has an assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products to keep your equipment moving. Rod End Supply's experienced staff is ready and willing to help you with your needs. Their promise is to continue to provide a superior product with superior service so you can stay in front of the field no matter what it is. To learn more, go to rodendsupply.com.
Especially sportswear in-house. We do all of the screen printing, all the embroidery. We do some vinyl. The other add specialty items like your pens, magnets, notepads, calendars. You can actually buy that, build your business to make it larger. We have the largest screen printing process and the largest embroidery anywhere around in the area. We can do stuff all the way from your school clubs to sports teams, a professional look in the office. If you can imagine it, we can do it for you.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas Fuel Treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system, pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works. There is less than 1/100th of an inch of motor oil protecting your car's engine. Friction and heat causes engine oil to experience thermal breakdown, weakening its ability to protect the engine and its parts. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is specially formulated to resist thermal breakdown, protect vital engine parts, and extend the life of your engine. It also stops smoking, knocking, and oil consumption in worn engines. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. Keep that engine alive.
Missouri's must play getaway. Osage National Golf Resort.
3 9-hole courses to choose from at the Lake of the Ozarks in the Osage River Valley. Stay and play packages in our first-class condos. A beautiful clubhouse complete with pro shop and exercise facilities. A large pool for relaxation and families. The Eagle View Sports Bar and Grill. Great wedding facilities. Go online and make your tee time today.
Race fans, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum is open 7 days a week, year-round, for you to come in and check out all of the wonderful race cars on display in the museum. And our online store at sprintcarstuff.com is open 24 hours a day for you to check out everything that we have in stock for sprint car fans. Whether it's for a birthday, anniversary, or Christmas, sprintcarstuff.com has it all. That's at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville.
Next to your vehicle's engine, your transmission is the most important component of your car. If it's not properly maintained, your car may not shift properly. By adding Lucas Transmission Fix to your transmission, it cleans and lubricates sticking valves for proper shifting, renews worn bands to stop slipping, stops seal leaks, will not void new car warranties, contains no harmful solvents. Lucas Transmission Fix. It works.
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy, and you're listening to Racing Boys, and if you ain't listening to them, you get out of the country because you're a communist. I love the Racing Boys. Like Mater says, they make me happier than a tornado in a trailer park. You know, the funny thing about that is the Larry voice and the Mater voice are exactly the same. Get her done!
Welcome to Hour 2 of Track Talk on the Racing Boys Broadcasting Network. Brought to you by Lucas Oil Products. Made in America, sold to the world. Here again are the Racing Boys, Scott Traylor and Kirk Elliott.
Welcome back. It's Track Talk. It's all brought to you by Lucas Oil Products. It works. I'm Scott. He's Kirk. We're the Racing Boys. We've got Todd Surprise, Austin O'Neill working for us back here as the producers. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to the show. We appreciate it. How you doing, bud? You doing all right? Are you a little tired after last night?
Yeah, a little bit, but, you know.
What time did you get home?
I got home at, well, first of all, I got to bed about 1:15 because I stayed up. I wanted to watch some of those races that I missed during the night while I was at.
So what do you do, Kirk, when you go back and you watch those races? Do you queue it up and then just speed through it?
Yeah. Speed through the yellow flags.
Right.
So
you're a cheater.
So I worked through 2 races last night.
You're cheating, Kirk.
The race at Williams Grove and the race at Port City. Those were the 2 that. And then I tried to go back on Lucas Oil Plus or MAV TV Plus to watch the replay from
they didn't have it ready
Lucas
yet.
Oil Speedway, and it wasn't ready yet. So and then I woke up this morning, still not ready to watch yet. But anyway, Johnny Scott led the whole way down there. So then I lay down about 1:15 and get up at 5:30 and post some stories on the website. So I got more sleep than Austin did last night.
Well,
I'll say that.
Listen,
well, I had to go to IHOP, so I mean.
Hold on a second, Kirk. Just to be fair, he's freaking 18. You're 65.
He can handle it better than I can.
He's 18 years old. He can handle it.
But when you were out on the road, zooming in from wherever you were at,
oh yeah,
you didn't get much sleep either on Friday night.
No, because, you know, what people don't understand. Here, Austin, I want you to grab my phone here, and I want you to pull this picture up so we can show people this picture. It's on Twitter, but I want to talk about this picture right here. Can you pull that up for me? You know, the road life, you know, I'll say it, man. You know, I thought I was really going to miss the road. not traveling up and down the road. After doing it 13 years, living like a gypsy, out on the road 170, 180 days a year. Just, and it was fun. I never complained one bit, did I, when I was out there on the road?
No.
Never. But, I thought I was going to miss it terribly.
You miss the fringe that you see on the road.
Well,
all the time.
I
miss that part.
I miss seeing Tommy and Blake and Brandon and Matt and Ashley. I miss those folks. And I miss some of the drivers and the team members as well. I miss seeing Johnny Herrera and some of the other people. You don't
miss not sleeping in your own bed, though.
But I'm gonna tell you something. I am pleasantly surprised that I am not at all missing the road. How is that? How could that possibly be? How could I do it for 13 years and not miss the road? You know why I'm not missing it, Kirk? I'm going to tell you exactly why I'm not missing it. Because I'm having fun doing that podcast with Austin.
And all you got to do is come down to the basement to do the podcast.
Me and Austin meet down here about 11:15 every day, and we do our thing. And you know what? I'm enjoying the podcast. And if it wasn't for that, I'd probably miss the road.
I enjoy listening to your show every day.
Right.
So I get to come in here and
watch
what
I
do
like.
it live.
You know what I like? That I think what we're doing good on Mostly Motorsports is that it's a national show, and we've got people all around the country that are listening to the show. And Austin, don't you get the most satisfaction knowing that people are listening to us in PA, New Jersey, New York, Washington, Oregon, all around the country? Doesn't that make it more satisfying?
Oh, the country and even around the world.
Around the world, too. Yeah.
We always joke about, like we're out in the Middle East and, Australia, New Zealand, and it's really cool that, we can share our thoughts and our stories with people, around the world, share the same interests with so many people. Yeah, Ben's from Australia. That's awesome.
Ben's usually on our show every day from Australia.
That interview you did with Phil Dietz was fabulous.
That's only a fraction of it, though.
Just tremendous. Yeah, you want to listen to the
What
whole
episode
interview.
was that again? 74?
Yes.
Yeah, 74.
that was
73, actually. 73.
73?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Just how, we unfortunately lost Jason here just a few years ago, and just going through that whole process and how it's ended up to where it is now, and very, very interesting interview.
Yeah, Mel says, I remember working on my car when I was young. Couldn't do it now. Me neither, Mel. You know what I don't miss about racing? I don't miss spending the money, and I don't miss working on them.
You miss driving them, though.
I miss driving them. I miss driving them, but I sure don't miss working on them.
You want to come lay some decals in about an hour and a half?
What, on your body?
Yeah.
Are you going to do that today?
Yeah.
Are you? Why don't you go home and get some rest, bud?
Well, I thought about that.
If you're going to race tonight, you need to get some... are you going to sleep on the way down there?
Probably, but I thought about that. Like, I went and stopped and got something to drink from McDonald's on the way over, and I was about to fall asleep when I walked in the door, and I sat down, we started talking, and I woke up, and I'm awake. I'm not going to go to sleep, so just might as well go
You know what happens? I don't know about you guys, but for me, personally, if I take a nap in the afternoon, it screws up my entire day.
Yep.
Same here.
Me and Austin, I'm just going to tell you, Kirk, we've got a lot of similarities, but Austin and I have these similarities. It's like he's real anal about his car being clean, aren't you?
Yeah.
Kirk,
I had to drive my car to Lakeside last night, and I'm glad I didn't wash it before I went.
I
would have lost it.
Hey, Austin, I almost washed mine before I went out there.
Yeah. Inside's clean, though.
Kirk, am I the most anal person about having a clean car that you've ever met?
Absolutely. Yeah. My brother, he likes things to be clean and looking good.
Dick,
yeah.
Yeah.
Reason why I got white race cars.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to clean them as much?
Oh, no, you have to clean them.
Yeah.
With it being white, you can't hide it with black or any other dark color.
Well, black, you can't hide anything.
Black or white, either one of those colors, right?
Me personally, I like black vehicles, but I'm driving a white one now.
Well,
you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get some wheels for that thing. I'm going to drive that Equinox until the wheels fall off of it. because we're all in on that thing now. And our good friends up at Podium Inc. are going to put a wrap on it, and I'm going to put some black wheels on it.
Maybe we can call down to our friends at Weld Racing and get some wheels for it.
Maybe. You got a connection down there, don't you? Maybe. I was going to ask you this, but you offered before I asked.
Well, we never know. I
just never know.
You never know. I don't think they sell car
Maybe
wheels.
Maybe a discount. They sell truck wheels, don't they?
Yeah,
that's kind of an SUV.
I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure.
All right. Pick me out some wheels, Austin.
Okay.
All right. Well, Kirk, so last night, let's just talk a little bit about what happened here for us last night. It was funny in that heat race that Austin was in. I had Austin Siebert, who won a championship for me, driving my Super Truck in 2004. I had Austin O'Neill, my producer of Mostly Motorsports, in it. And Dennis Elliott was in the same race. All three of you were in the same race. Did you know that?
I did. Yeah, it was Siebert on the pole.
Did you notice that, Kirk?
I noticed that. That's a stacked third heat.
Yeah. I was in the sandwich because Siebert was on the pole. I was front row out, and I had Dennis behind me.
Right. Austin Siebert's a pretty good race car driver, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah. He's
and
pretty
Tanner
good.
Mullen's a race winner. Yeah, he and Siebert were kind of together up towards the front of that heat race.
But I go back to the day in 2004 when Austin Siebert drove my Super Truck. He'd only raced a go-kart for about 4 or 5 times before we put him in my Super Truck. And, he made the Show Me 100 in his late model. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. Didn't he, Kirk, one year?
He did.
Yeah.
I went down and talked with Travis Siebert last night. I didn't realize that Austin...
Get him to spend some money with us.
We didn't talk about that.
Oh.
But anyway, I didn't
Not
realize...
your department.
I didn't realize Austin
Give me his
Siebert...
number.
Austin got married last fall. I didn't know that.
Yep.
So
I knew that.
They probably... He said that maybe not as many races for Austin now as since he got married.
When you get married, that changes everything. And then when you have kids, just ask Todd Surprise over there. Kids change your life, don't they, Todd?
Everything about it.
Everything about it.
It's not about you anymore. It's about those kids.
Right. Well, until they get to a certain age, then they do their own thing eventually. Right.
Eventually, and you have 2 wonderful daughters that are fully grown up and doing their own thing right now. So,
Todd, your boy had a pretty good game last night, didn't he?
He did all right. He was upset with himself because he didn't get.
Why does he get upset with himself? He gets upset of himself easy, doesn't he?
He doesn't show it, but it's inside.
Baseball's a hard game.
You know it when he's upset, though.
Yeah. Baseball's hard.
It's a hard
success
game.
is.
But he's dedicated.
Yeah, I've never seen nobody as dedicated to playing baseball as. But like I said, I've never seen anything up close like this.
He wants to be a pro.
This kid's got a 4.2, 4.3 grade point average. I think he doesn't really care about baseball, to be honest with you.
He's thinking life after baseball.
Yeah, I think he'll do baseball
just
because he can. And if once he's beat that, he'll move on to the next thing. But
well, he's good. We know that.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Like I said, sophomore, holding down varsity spot.
Austin, did you play sports when you were in school? You're so tall.
No, of course
You never played basketball?
No. Well, hold on, I'll take that back. We tried sports when I was younger, but I didn't do it.
You're not very coordinated, or what?
Far from it.
But you can mash a gas pedal though.
That's it. It's a lot easier to mash a throttle pedal than you can throw balls around. And my arms are too small, anyways. I can't throw a ball and not get tired in 2 throws.
Marie says, I never had marriage or kids change the racing when I was involved. You go with the flow. Well,
if you're fortunate to be around,
the problem is when I was racing, my kids loved going to the races. What's so funny about Austin? Austin, his dad was one of the great local racers here in this town. And you don't even remember him racing hardly at all, do you, on the pavement?
Never seen one pavement race.
Never saw a pavement race. Nope. And that was his glory days.
Yep.
And you never saw him race on it.
Nope.
Do you remember driving the ARCA car?
Nope.
Isn't that crazy?
I wasn't born yet.
What year were you born?
03.
Oh, my goodness.
Gosh.
Wow, that makes you think.
That was the year I had my first ARCA car.
Oh, boy.
03.
You know, when you get to be our age, Scott, time really flies fast.
Oh, my gosh.
It really does.
I hope it starts slowing down because I'm getting kind of old. I want you to put this picture up. This is one of the most amazing pictures I've ever seen. Does it say what the caption is, where that was at, Austin? Did it say?
What year was that?
No, it just the guy posts a picture of it.
Let me tell you something, folks.
He survived that.
He did.
He survived that wreck, but let me tell you something about that wreck right there.
Oh, let me go back to it.
Yeah. Let me tell you. Can you? Oh, I love that picture up there, too.
Yeah, I got a T-shirt of that on my... That picture of the two guys flipping each other off.
Yeah.
I got a T-shirt of that.
Well, let me tell you. Can you blow that picture up?
Yeah, you might have to save it. Let's save the original picture
I'm
of
getting
it.
seasick.
That ain't it.
No, hold on. Let me take care of it.
Does it? The caption under that picture, what's it say?
There you go.
Look at that. That guy survived to race another day. But I've said this so many times about the pioneers of our sport. The people that built the foundation, the people that come out of World War II and drove these cars like this and wanted to be thrown from their cars because they didn't want to ride it out.
No roll cage.
Those are the real men of racing. There's nobody that's more important in motorsports than guys like this guy that's flying through the air, thrown out of his car, that meant more to motorsports and built the foundation more than those kind of guys that did that right there.
These guys were true daredevils back then.
Absolute daredevils, fearless.
You got to be crazy to do it.
To want to be thrown from your car.
Well, that's like, I don't know if most people don't know this, but our primary sponsor, Marmon Keystone, on our sprint car.
Yep.
So the Marmon side of that company owned the Marmon Wasp, which was the first ever car to win the Indianapolis 500.
Really?
In 1911, they owned the Marmon Motor Company. It didn't survive the Great Depression, so that company is long gone. It merged with the Keystone family.
Right.
And it created a bar and tube, a pipeline company. And but they had a video of the 1911 race. And I watched it, and I'm like, you got to be crazy to do it.
Yeah. Ray Haroon, the winner of that race.
Just the leather skull caps, and it's just like, you guys are nuts. I couldn't.
Well, and you know, who was the driver that got voted into the Carb Hall of Fame that had the glasses he brought back from wearing them, and a rock flew up and hit his eye, and he lost his eyesight in one eye? Who was it?
I can't remember.
Somebody remind me.
Let me go look at the car. If I said a name, would you know?
Oh, maybe. All right, let's get into it. This Lee right here. Yep. All right, let's go to the phones and bring on Lee Spencer. Lee, how you doing?
Oh, moving and grooving.
What are you going to Talladega?
No.
No. Mm-mm.
Nope.
You had enough fun last weekend at the dirt race?
No, just budgets. Budget cuts. It just doesn't make sense.
No, I know it. I get it. So I said it this week on the show on Mostly Motorsports, and I'm going to say it again this morning here on Track Talk. I was the first one to kind of kick on the dirt race. I didn't think it was going to be very good. I'm going to retract my statement and say that race was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and I was entertained.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it'll be better next year because I don't think they had the opportunity to spend getting this car dirt ready, right? I mean, just the rush to get the car on the track.
Right.
There's still, I don't have to tell you, I sent you a text earlier this week about the tire shortage, which has really escalated, right?
Yep.
Word is on the streets that the tires, the World of Outlaws, it takes priority when it comes to tires, and everybody else is scrambling.
Hold on, Lee. Let me ask you something. Is Goodyear concerned about their tires?
I think that might be the next one, right?
Right.
But, I mean, you cannot function. America's largest stock car series cannot function without an excess of tires.
Right.
But it's, with everything else, it's supply shortages. We're still seeing supply shortages, parts and pieces for this next gen car. And just circling back to what we started with, the problem, and I hate to use that word because, I like looking for solutions, but
it is a problem, though.
I think just getting the next gen car on the racetrack, took precedent and over having a dirt specific car for Bristol, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now we seem to have improved the track surface, had a little bit better response from Mother Nature, and then, you get the car out there. Well, you can't really be changing stuff up the week before when people are just scrambling to get cars to the track, just not just even a specific dirt specified car for the racetrack. So looking at it from that standpoint, I think once we get our, sea legs and can get a car, get this car going on a regular basis where there's not a problem with parts and pieces and R&D on it, then the next step is finding what really is the best solution car-wise for the dirt track. And I think that, when we get there next year, that's going to be, we will have improved the track, we will have improved the car, and I think next year will be just outstanding. And nobody will, there's going to be the detractors, there's going to be the pundits bitching still. I'm kind of shocked at the number of people in my profession that are bitching about this race. I don't understand why.
Yeah.
NASCAR's ability to think outside the box and provide all different levels of entertainment and varieties of track and varieties of racing, they should welcome this. How long did we sit there and just go through all the just boring intermediate track? I don't know. It drove me nuts. I mean, you just couldn't find anything exciting about intermediate tracks, and this car's been really good on intermediate tracks. So rather than bitching and moaning about going to a dirt track, and especially I think part of the problem with the complaints was the fact that it was on Easter and people were taken away from their families on that holiday. But if you're racing, if you're a racer, you race. It doesn't matter what day of the year it is. You race, and that's what you guys signed up for. Stop bitching about it, cash the check, and move on.
Right. Hey, Lee, let me ask you something, because this is something that I hear a lot on Sirius Satellite Radio. I hear a lot of the on-air people talk about they only want to have one of these races. And let me tell you something.
What, you mean one is in one dirt race?
One dirt race. And I think that's silly, to be honest with you, because they're drawing the dirt people back into cup racing by running on these dirt tracks and allowing their superstars to race these dirt cars like Alex Bowman and Bell and Larson. They're drawing the grassroots fans back in and running another dirt race. I don't see what's wrong with trying to run 2 or 3 dirt races a year. Do you see a problem with that?
I might go with the second one. I thought 3 might be, a bit much, but you could repurpose the cars. I mean, I really thought it would have been smart to repurpose last year's car because he already knew what was going on, rather than go through the expense of the new car and take a risk of wrecking the new car when they don't have enough parts and pieces for it to begin with. I mean, that's, I don't know. I mean, but they wanted to stay the course, and I get that, and I can appreciate that. And I just think next year's car will be better. But do I think we could race at Knoxville? Absolutely. They ran trucks there. But even that was a, crap show, so to speak. I think that mainly stemmed from the fact that most of those kids didn't grow up on dirt, didn't have a clue, and it's an extremely aggressive series. Not to say that we're not seeing more aggressive bodies in Cup at this point. You know, the Ross Chastains, you know, Suarez, Reddick, Briscoe. You know, Briscoe was way aggressive on
Right.
that scorer, right? But, you know, that's just, these kids are hungry. You know, they're racing for performance over that flat 7-figure salary that, you know, the previous generation had. So they're out there trying to get the job done. And I don't, you know, I don't fault them for that. And quite frankly, if they want to get up on the wheel, God bless them, because it's going to be a better show for the fans.
Lee, I sat on this program a week ago saying,
morning, Kurt.
How you doing, Lee? A week ago on this program, I said, I think this is going to be a better event than what we had the year before. I wasn't nearly as hard as these guys were on that track. My biggest thing was the dust. I said they've got to figure out how to stop the dust.
It wasn't that bad.
Thank God we tuned in last Saturday for the qualifier races, and my first thought was, hallelujah. They've got the dust problem solved. That's a big deal. So I was very happy. Was that because they got a lot of rain the night before? What was that? We saw so much different track conditions on Saturday than we saw when those cars were out there practicing the day before.
Well, they did add rain to it, and I think that, or, you know, the rain did help, is what I was trying to say. So I think that was, you know, that was a benefit. They also changed up the composite of the dirt a little bit, and so I think that helped. And I really think that third time's going to be a charm, like I wrote yesterday. I just think that they're just going to keep, or 2 days ago, I think they're just going to keep getting better at finding the right recipe to make this work. And you know, it's the car. You know, the new car A is a work in progress.
Right.
NASCAR returning to dirt, work in progress. You know, we finally had an opportunity this year. I mean, heck, remember last year that your two top dirt guys were taken out so early in the race, you never really got to see what people were capable of accomplishing. And, you know, with the exception of Kyle Busch, who, you know, had his coming out party on dirt at the Tulsa Shootout, it was really a dirt show.
Yeah.
You know, even the guys that were running up front, it was a dirt show. So it's and by far, Briscoe had the best car of the night. And, you know, for him to screw up the way he did was, you know, unfortunate. But, you know, live and learn. And I don't care what people are saying. I think we all know Chase Briscoe well enough to know what he did was not intentional. He's not a dirty driver. He's not somebody to take it out. He just, you know, it was slide job gone bad.
And it was nobody's fault. It was really hard to pass after that rain fell on the racetrack. And, you know, it's miraculous they were able to finish up that race. It made it hard to pass with that much moisture coming from the rain.
First of all, I didn't like the way Tyler Reddick handled it afterwards.
No, I didn't either. Come on, Tyler.
Come on, man. Have a little backbone. Stand up to somebody that just knocked you out of winning your first Cup race.
Yeah.
Have a little attitude towards the guy.
I want you to be mad about it, Tyler.
Hey. I'm the one thing I'm going to say about all this, and I understand, and, you know, he had enough rednecks behind him that were ready to kick Chase Briscoe's butt. You know,
are you calling us rednecks?
No, I'm talking about the RCR bunch.
Yeah,
you know, that's like redneck hell up and welcome, right?
I got you.
They kicked ass and asked questions later.
They were ready.
You know, you're talking about Richard Children, who has threatened multiple journalists to burn down their houses if they write, you know, crap about him. But, you know, so I'm you know, they resort to physicality and ask questions later. But what I'm getting to is the sheer fact that if you suffer from little man syndrome like Tyler Reddick does, don't you try to diffuse situations because you know you're going to get your butt beat because you're 5 foot tall? I mean, how many diminutive race car drivers you see out there, trying to start fights with guys. It just doesn't happen because you're going to get pulverized.
Well, the thing about it is,
hold on.
Conditioned to be that way. I really do.
Hold on. When back in my day when I fought, I used to walk into the bar and find the biggest guy in the room.
Yeah, but you're not slight.
Well, I wasn't that big back then.
Tyler's not a very big guy.
But I don't care. I don't care what you say. He should have, when Briscoe come walking up to him, at the very least, he should have said, "Not now, bud. I don't want to talk to you right now."
Yeah,
at the very least, that's what he should have said.
And Chase came up there with a smile on his face too.
Right? Hey, old buddy.
But he always has. Chase always has. That's just Chase. Those two guys, right?
Right. I like Chase. He's been on this show. We had him on Mostly Motorsports.
Yeah.
I like him. He's a good guy.
Chase is he's a lover, they're both lovers, not fighters. And, Reddick.
But as a fan, Lee, I didn't want to see that. As a fan, I want to see conflict.
I want a little WWE in my NASCAR.
Well, see, that's what gives the NASCAR a bad rap. And so the thing of it is, once you go down that path, there's no coming back. And how many people have called NASCAR the WWE of racing for years?
Hold on, Lee. They deserve that because they advertise it. When you watch their commercials on TV, they show people fighting. They show people wrecking. That's what they show. They show a wreck, then they show a fight, right?
I get that.
The only thing I criticize Ty Gibbs about in that incident is take your helmet off. Come on, be a man, Ty.
I don't care if he takes his helmet off or not. That really, it's smart to leave your helmet on. But the most thing that I was impressed with Ty Gibbs is his right left. Man, that guy knows how to throw some fist.
Well, that's the other thing. If you're going to be small, somebody better teach how to fight, right? But he wasn't that much. He and Sam Mayer. It's not like he had a head over him. I don't know. Tyler, I just don't even know what to say about Tyler. All you heard all week long on Sirius was that how upset his guys were that he didn't go up there and stand up for himself.
What? Hold on. As a team, as somebody a part of the team, and you fight for that guy and you try to do everything you can to make him win a race, and you're a part of that team and you want to win your first race as well, he should have said something.
That's right.
The team members should have been hacked off because he didn't say anything.
Because those team guys were ready to rumble. They were ready.
No. They want to win that race just as bad as he does.
Yeah. No, as a fan, Lee, I was disappointed by all that. I just felt empty at the end of that, the way that Tyler reacted and that encounter at the end of the. I was left empty by all of that.
I'm sorry. But like you said, the crew guys were ready to go, and
that's right.
I think I will guarantee you, though, that will not happen again. If I had a bet on it after the displeasure that he saw from his crew guys, I would seriously doubt if that happens again. Because the other thing is, once you establish yourself on track as a doormat, it happens again and again and again.
Yeah. Ask Joey Logano about that.
Let Austin jump in here for a second. What do you think about all this, Austin?
Well, my question's a little off topic. We kind of got. When I thought of this question, we were still talking about the dirt track kind of deal. So this is a question for all three of us here.
Right.
Do we think if NASCAR went to a true dirt track like a Knoxville or they're on a dirt base, that the track will be better than Bristol? Now, Bristol, it wasn't bad. It was better than the first year.
They had it packed pretty tight.
But with the way the moisture in the water works, with a concrete base, the moisture can't come back up as the night goes on when it's cool in the spring. Do we think if we go to a dirt track, let's say like in Knoxville, where they can get a good track surface and keep it kind of hard, but the moisture can kind of come up through the night and not let the track completely seal over?
I don't think there's much of a difference, to be honest with you.
That's a pretty deep surface at Bristol, wasn't it, Lee? That was pretty deep, that dirt they put on there.
I thought it was sporty. And like I said, they changed the composite a little bit to it. So, and they kept watering the top. I mean, we saw the water trucks come out regularly, and then you had the rain, and then it got a little sloppy. But I still don't. I should have sent him a text, but I don't understand why it took Chase Briscoe so long to get back going after he spun like that, because, man, he ended up with a really lousy finish for being the best car all day. And so I was don't understand what took him so long to come around, unless he just didn't want to take the risk of wrecking somebody trying to get out of that position. But, I mean, hell, the next gaggle of cars, which was Logano, Chase Elliott, and Blaney, they were a half a track away, from the leader. So that was kind of, I thought he would have had ample time to get it back going again.
Didn't SMI bring in, I got to credit SMI for putting a lot of commitment to this, want to do it the right way. They brought in a lot of people, a lot of minds they brought together to try to do this the right way. And for that, I give a lot of credit for. They've committed to it.
You guys, was it on Monday or was it last week when you guys were all debating that take Iowa Speedway and turn to a dirt track?
I'm for it.
Why the hell not do that with North Wilkesboro? If you really want to have a dirt track and leave it a full-time dirt track, North Wilkesboro would be ideal, because the place is already a dump, and you can clean it up as much as you want, but if you're worried about getting it dirty, put dirt down, leave the dirt down, and don't worry about putting asphalt back.
I've been saying that for a long time.
I concur with you on that one.
The reason I say Iowa Speedway.
And that would also, you got the dirt track at Charlotte, but SMI owns that too. But I mean, you could have a designated dirt track. They've got the one at Texas. We've all been there. They've got the one at Charlotte. We've all been there. You could have the one up the road at North Wilkesboro, and that would add something else. It gets cold there, and you're right on the foothills of the mountains, but I tell you, it's a hell of a lot warmer than racing in Pennsylvania this time of year.
Here's and it's Scott's idea about Iowa Speedway, and I am fully on board with this. The reason I'm partial to doing it at Iowa Speedway is because the quality of the dirt there
that you can get and put on that racetrack.
I mean, it is great dirt. And
the other, with North Wilkesboro, it's also 0.625 miles, and so, as tight as the confine scene at Bristol and Knoxville, it gives you a little bit more running room.
Right.
Could you see, speaking of having the Texas dirt track and the Charlotte dirt track, could we see far in the future, let's say Saturday we go race on the mile and a half, and then Sunday we go race on the dirt track, or vice versa, whatever night? Could we see a 2-day event at the same venue on a different surface?
Same venue on different surface?
That same take
the dirt off?
No,
I will
go to the Texas Speedway, then go to the dirt track.
I didn't want to muddy the water with my story, but what my ideal, and I don't know if I brought this up on your podcast, but my ideal situation would be because the only complaint that I have against doing the Bristol deal is the fact, and I understand for safety reasons why we don't do pit stops right at that track, because it could be very, very dangerous for these guys.
Yeah.
That being said, I would love to see a true all-star race being held on Bristol dirt, which would not only include the all-stars of NASCAR, but would be an invitational to guys like Brad Sweet, who's champion of World of Outlaws, Tyler Courtney, who's champion of World of Outlaws, Tyler Courtney, champion of All-Stars, Buddy Kofoid, champion of USAC midgets, so on and so forth.
All-star
so these guys would have a shot to run against the best in NASCAR on a surface where it's an even playing field. I think that would be the ultimate all-star race. You want to have an all-star race, have an all-star race on dirt, and include those guys and boys.
Does that be kind of like cars?
Kind of like an invitational only type deal.
It would be invitational early, but sure, it would be the NASCAR All-Star race, but you would also have Donnie Schatz, a 10-time winner, put him in decent equipment. I mean, not a shit box. Put him in decent equipment and let him go at it. Right. I mean, I think that, you have an all-star dirt race like that with the guys who have won races in NASCAR. They all get invited. You just take that format because let's face it, nobody's going to go to the All-Star race at Texas. Texas has if they have one race there, one race is plenty at that track. COTA, moving a race to COTA was brilliant. Fabulous facility. Also pulls in more of an international field because you have Formula One racing there. Now you need to, you could, if you really want to have a symbiotic relationship between dirt and NASCAR, that's the way to do it. You invite the champions of dirt, you put them up against the champions of NASCAR and have at it.
And that event belongs at North Wilkesboro, by the way.
That would be the ideal kickoff at North Wilkesboro because, like I said, bigger track. But, I want to see the guys, and the thing of it is, Buddy, with his relationship with Toyota could definitely have something ready for him. You'd have to have a same kind of, Donnie's got the Ford relationship. I think Brad before when he was in NASCAR, he had Chevrolet, but, have each of those guys be given, an opportunity to have a decent car put together for them for the event. And you really want to build a bridge between the two. That's the way to do it because not only do you attract because we saw the other night, Thursday night, right, Bowman and Bell were with the All-Stars up in Pennsylvania. That was really cool. And people are going to come out to see those two guys. Let's face it, they are.
Right.
But, how many people from the dirt world, if you had a dirt race and said, hey, we're going to bring in Donnie Schatz, we're going to bring in Brad Sweet, we're going to bring in Tyler Courtney, Buddy Kofoid, it would attract another element of fans, and it would be awesome.
I was pretty impressed.
Oh, and happy birthday, Tyler Courtney.
Oh, yeah, today's his birthday. Oh, by the way, I was pretty impressed with Alex Bowman. He runs 7th up there at Bloomsburg. Did you see that?
He's really figuring it out, and I'm happy for him because, Kyle Busch, it was funny because people kept asking him if he had backed into the win because, he's so much admitted so. And you're going to have races like that, but don't sit there and call Alex Bowman a hack when he's won more races than you have over the last 12 months. And
oh, by the way, Kyle, you backed into a win.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's okay, though. We've all done it. If you've raced long enough, you've backed into a win.
I did like what Kyle said after the race. He says, hey, they're booing me like I feel like Earnhardt, and I didn't do anything.
I didn't understand why they were booing him, to be honest with you. Hey, Lee, before we let you...
they're going to... if you've ever been to driver introductions in the last 10 years, you get it.
Right. Well, it seemed like some of the fans were coming around with Kyle Busch, though.
Well, I will tell you, and he's far from retirement, but the closer a guy gets to retirement, the more they start loving on the driver because they know that it's going to be, it's there at.
How about Anthony Macri? Is he about the hottest 410 driver in the country right now? He's won 6 races this year.
Especially in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah,
Would you bet against him?
No.
I wouldn't bet against him at Port Royal tonight.
No, I wouldn't either. He's won he won 4 in a row. He's won 6 races this year. Who's hotter? Nobody.
Justin Grant won 3 in a row, right?
Yeah, did you see how Justin won that race last night at Port City?
I did. And he did the mea culpa in Victory Lane as well.
He did, didn't he? He sure did.
Yep. That was a fun race to watch, though. We had both TVs going, so that was fun.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
And I was going to go to the World of Outlaws last night because they were supposed to be here in Tri-City. They're going from Tri-City to Tri-County. That's the second week in a row that the World of Outlaws have been rained out in St. Louis, and it wasn't even raining, but the track had taken on so much water they couldn't get it prepared.
And that's a shame because Tri-City's a great racetrack. I love Tri-City Speedway.
Is Hopstock still
on? It's really rough
yes.
when you go by a local hotel and you see the Dryden truck sitting there, and you know that the Shark Boys are not going to be getting on the track in your hometown.
Yeah, it is. That's a shame because I love Tri-City Speedway. That's a great racetrack. Yeah, but Tri-State Speedway and Hopstock, that's another great racetrack. So we'll look forward to that.
We passed there on the way up here, and I sent Chase Briscoe a picture and said, you probably need a little home cooking right about now after that, the week he had. But
right. All right, Lee. What do you got coming up on Racing Boys?
Talladega preview.
All right. As we figured, we should have known, right?
It was good. I think it's great. Dale Jr. is going to be in the booth at Fox. I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Is Jeff Burton and Steve Letarte coming up on future races now? That they do
I hope
this?
Not. I mean, there's a reason why Junior's there, and Junior would have been great at Daytona as well. But
yeah.
I think it's going to be really interesting. Another storyline to watch is Larry McReynolds returning to the pit box.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Jeffrey Earnhardt.
Yesterday with Jeffrey Earnhardt. That's, that was a cool deal. So, man.
He's on the pole, right?
Formula One now. That's, it's live and kicking.
Right.
And Jeffrey Earnhardt on the pole, right?
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
That's something. That's awesome.
With RCR?
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see that.
That's great. All right, Lee, thanks so much for checking in. We'll talk to you on Monday, okay?
Don't get into too much trouble this week.
Not me. Deidre's the only one that gets me in trouble around here.
Well, that's a good thing.
Oh, okay. All right. See you later.
All
right, bye.
Bye.
All right. So we've got one more interview that we want to play. Let's get that in right now. You want to do that now?
We have two interviews we can play.
What do we got? What else?
We have a Steve Post interview or we have a Vic Hill, but I think the Vic Hill one is the one we should go with.
You want to go with Vic Hill?
We definitely want to hear that Vic Hill.
Let's do. How long is this one?
About 12 minutes.
All right, so this is an interview that it was just a wing. We just kind of called the racetrack. He picked up the phone and we got him on. Right? What?
It's 15 minutes actually.
It is?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, but it's really interesting.
It'll help clear up a lot of confusion about the Bulls Gap and Volunteer Speedway.
All right.
Yeah, why they made the announcement that there's not going to be any more racing this year at Volunteer Speedway.
Or
because,
ever. Do we know? It could be forever. We never know.
I'm thinking they'll be back, but there's a lot of infrastructure work that's got to be done.
A lot of money needs to be spent.
And we had a lot of questions, and so Austin gave that number a call that was in the press release, and Vic Hill answered the phone. Would you come on? Yeah. So here is that interview that was on Mostly Motorsports yesterday. It's worth playing again.
With Vic Hill. Let's bring promoter Vic Hill on the phone right now. Vic, how you doing? We appreciate you taking the time at the last minute notice here to come on Mostly Motorsports. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm not promoter this week. I'm going to be race car driver again. I'm going to go to Smoky Mountain down there and make a lap or two.
All right. Well, good for you.
Race,
yeah. How long you been racing?
Oh gosh, since about in late model since about 90, I guess 95, 93.
Wow.
So started out in limited late model, and then actually, like I said, this Volunteer Speedway, my engine shop's only 2 miles from there.
I see.
And, I've raced there for 20-some years and had a lot of success. And, worked with Joe and Phyllis on a few races prior. And, they had sold the place. And anyway, the guy that I actually had it, he couldn't do it. So it went back to Joe and Phyllis. And when it did, this was probably November area. Well, because I've been a big part of that place, is calling Vic, what's going on? Can we do this? Can we do that? And I called Phyllis and I said, look, these people are blowing me out of the water as if I own this place. She said, well, look, just tell them you do right now. I can't deal with it. I said, okay. So that's when Flo, Rigsby and Ben Shelton and all them came up with having this race with Larson involved. And so we worked out, the details of that. And at that point, I've got to go to the racetrack. Now, this is back, when it's cold and warm, so I'm going back and forth over there.
Yeah.
And the infrastructure of that place was really killed.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as equipment, lighting,
rundown,
everything.
Yeah.
So we have worked like mules, my wife, even my guys here at the race shop, some friends, and just worked, had this event. And it was a huge success.
Right.
But in reality, at the end of the day, when I got finished with this, just and some of it's my management problem, I lost money. And I know that's hard to believe.
Wow.
And it's not Flo's fault. So some rumors are out there that they did what they were supposed to do. But there's a way. I've talked to some other promoters and some other venues about doing some things to try to keep this place successful.
Right.
And we had a weekly show scheduled, and I looked at all the stuff that we did for this thing, and I said, man, if I lost money on this thing, a weekly show is going to kill us.
Right.
So what I'm doing is I'm still cleaning up from that race, just the mess that happens when you have an event that big.
Yeah, wasn't that?
And we're going to have
I think that was your biggest event in 20 years. Somebody said, right?
Oh yeah, it was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And I mean, according to them, as far as their TV broadcast, it was the biggest one they had. I mean, it was a success on all those parts.
Yeah.
But as far as building the racetrack back up with money, it didn't do that for what I'm trying to do. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to have some practices, and I've talked to a few different Ray Cook or Chris Tilley or Barry Braun, or a few people about events. And what I'm going to try to do, if someone wants to have an event there, basically I would just lease that turnkey. Now, their insurance, their everything.
Right.
For a dollar amount. And I'll prep the track. I'll make sure the facility, the bathrooms work, all the grunt work of that, but not have to manage any concessions, any of their, it basically be their show completely, where I wasn't required to get insurance and ambulances and fire trucks and just all that stuff that goes along with that.
Yeah.
To simplify it to where, okay, at the end of the day, I know I made this much money that I can put back into this place. It definitely needs more.
Right.
And it's not a process that happens overnight.
Mm-hmm. So what you're saying, if you were to lease the facility, you give them the concession and everything, not because most people.
I would give them, yeah.
Most people take the concession, right, when they lease the racetrack.
They do, but here's what happens with concession. Like we had phenomenal concession, but just with, I don't know, confusion or new people or whatever, when you put the numbers all out on paper, they didn't add up.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, it was I looked at the food that's left, and there's like nothing, some French fries and stuff like that. And with that, I should have made really good money. And I'm not saying people are stealing. I'm just saying that it's confusion. And I know the concession was absolutely packed, and maybe they were given 2 cheeseburgers, and just I know how confusing it gets. And it's all new to people.
Right. Yeah.
So
no doubt.
To simplify that, at a later date, I may say, hey, I am going to do the concession. But right now, the people that are doing, that have done these races, they can handle all that. Whether they lease it out and get a percentage or something like that. I've talked to Riley Hickman down at, I've talked to everybody about how they do things. And, it's almost like if you're going to do the concessions and do the whole show, you've got to be a family, not just a group of people thrown together.
Right. Vic, let me ask you a little question here. Before you took over the facility and you have the new owners in there, the prior owners and the people that ran that facility before, did they neglect the facility over the years?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. And it was a shock to me when I got over there on what and I build race engines, not Caterpillar engines and things like that. And it's like, holy smokes! I had to actually pay people to come in, and there's still work to be done. The grader is still it fills up with water, and it's a catastrophe. So there's got to be some new investments there, and you got to make money to do that.
Yeah. Let me ask you another question. Has the city been on you about making some capital improvements on the, because sometimes they get in there and if they see you got a sewage problem or whatnot, has the city come to you and said you got to fix some few things before you can open up?
No, none whatsoever. There's not anything like that. It's
okay.
on city sewer and all that. All that was
Gotcha.
fine. When I
Gotcha.
talk about bathrooms and so on and so forth, it was plumbing, toilets, things, all the things that make the toilet work,
right.
replacing them, and
hardware,
hinges on doors, and just all that. Yeah, a ton of plumbing. Like I went over and there were pipes busted, and so we fixed them. Well, then I turned the water on, and that we had that cold spell come through.
Yep.
I don't know, April, whatever it was. So I go over, turn all the water off, winterize everything, go back, turn the water back on. So you're running around this facility, everything's good. Well, I leave. It was cold for a week, and I'm not there for a week. Well, the first sunny day, I'm back over there working on it, go down to the bottom.
Pipes broke.
And the concession stand looks like a lake. Like, oh, hell. And so I get the water shut down. I'm in there with a broom, and I'm sweeping water out of this thing. My phone rings, and it's the Mossheim Water Department. It said, you've used 77,000 gallons of water. I know.
Oh,
Shut
my
off.
gosh.
So people don't see that part of how this was a job. I mean, I put like 250 lights in the scoreboard because half them didn't work, and I put ballasts and the big expensive lights. That's a few $1,000s.
Yeah.
So it was just it was a success. It was disappointing for me, and like I said again, Flo Racing and Larson, they did nothing wrong.
Right.
There's a misconception that's out there right now that Flo just took all the money and ran. That is not the case.
Right. So
they did make money. It was a success. It was my end that wasn't.
Right.
The success from just unforeseen things.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was out at your racetrack last year. I traveled the last 13 years with the Lucas Oil ASCS National Sprint Car Tour, and I know when we came out there, our car count was the lowest I'd ever seen it in the 13 years that I'd been on the tour. But you had a huge crowd out there that night when we showed up out there. Oh, yeah. They wanted to see the sprint cars. It turned out to be a pretty good show, but unfortunately, we didn't have enough cars out there. But just kind of give us a timeline of when you think that you're going to get this place back open, Vic. Do you have a frame that you're trying to work in?
I mean, I'd love to run 3 or 4 more events this year that are, whether it's a Southern Nationals or whatever it may be, just a big event to where we can keep the facility going, and then that gives us a wintertime or in the fall to do repairs so you can start next season on a fresh plate where you're not just jumping through your butt backwards trying to make it happen or worried about something, not doing what it's supposed to do. Turn the lights on, they don't come on. I mean, there's just a lot. The lights there run off a generator.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Power. Mm. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a huge thing. And that was the next thing. I looked at it, and believe it or not, I made sure it was full of oil and all that. And I had to replace, I had to clean it and then replace some water nuts and some things like that on it and got us through this event. Well, I went back over there and I took the air filter out of it and stuff like that. We hadn't had anything done to it since
Who
19.
Knows? Yeah, who knows
19.
when? Right, yeah.
Right, and that's an expensive piece if it blows up.
Right.
And there are no lights. I mean, all the big center lights were run off that generator.
That could put you out of business almost.
Oh, yeah, or end the race.
Yeah.
I mean, it had been a catastrophe the other night with all those people. If the lights had gone boom and that thing had blown up.
Right.
So I just don't want to put myself in that. I don't want to roll the dice on that again.
Yeah.
So, Vic, this Kirk, they're still trying to sell the racetrack. It reverted back to its original owners. Just what is the process of trying to get the track sold?
Well, I had an appraisal done on the facility, and they're still definitely trying to sell it.
Yeah.
I've talked to one gentleman that may be interested in buying it, and if he does, this particular man has the equipment already that the facility needs and some things, and he would be more of just an outside management for it.
Right.
But right now, to sell a functioning racetrack, there's some infrastructure things that need to be repaired before it's, quote, a functioning racetrack.
Gotcha.
Right.
That you're not, the way I described it to a lot of people, it looks like that it's been fixed with duct tape for the last 8 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like I hate to use this word, but it sounds like the owners that owned it prior to you guys coming in there was a slumlord. It's what it sounds like to me.
Well, and in their defense, if they're not making any money,
how can they
and
fix it?
they bought it to
Right.
make money, how can they fix it? And that's what
Right.
I'm trying not to do.
Right.
You know, and they just walked away. They're like, look, this thing is overwhelming, and I'm done with it.
Right. Well, it's such a great facility, man. We hope that that everything comes through for you guys out there. You know, when I went out there and saw that racetrack, I was just blown away with the banking and just the facility itself. And from the outside looking in, it didn't look that bad. But, you know, from looking from the inside out, it sounds like it's much worse. Now, are you interested in, Vic, owning the racetrack yourself as just a single owner yourself? Are you wanting to do that?
I would entertain that, but I've got a very successful engine business that takes a lot of my time as well.
Yeah.
And I would have to have
somebody help you there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I do, it's just like this weekend. I'm going to go race. I still like to race every once in a while.
Right. Right. Are you running a super late model, or do you run a crate late model?
Oh, yeah. No, I run a super.
Yeah.
See, at Volunteer, I've won the championship at that track more than anyone in the history of the track. I mean, like I said, it's been my home track. It's 2 miles from me.
Oh, wow.
And, I love the facility. And that's why I was trying to do what I'm doing so it doesn't just go away, because it is a fabulous racetrack.
Yeah, no doubt.
You're trying to give back what it gave you. Much pleasure.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Vic, we sure appreciate you taking the time. Is there anything that you want to get out? Because we've got 44 states and 9 countries that listen to this show every day. We're on Monday through Friday, starting at 12 noon Central Time. Is there anything out there? Because we've got a lot of people that listen out on the East Coast. Is there anything that you want to tell those people that are listening on the show right now to make sure that they understand that you want that facility to survive? Is there anything you need to convey to the listeners right now?
Well, basically, that they just understand where I am with trying to bring this place back to life. And it isn't, like I said, it isn't going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
I've got a few little irons in the fire that would be a success for the racetrack as far as financially, to bring back more money, like I said, to rebuild the infrastructure of that place.
Yeah.
That's what we've got to have.
Well, Vic, it sounds like it's
tell them just to keep their ears open and eyes open, and we get something going. That's definitely something that I'll get out there immediately.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't have a definite date for anything other than some people leasing the place to come test, which keeps the track in good shape.
Right.
That way, it doesn't just sit there and rut up and turn into an old useless racetrack.
Just what you're trying to tell is everybody, don't get your panties in a wad. Just be patient, and you'll be back sooner than later. That's what you're hoping, right? All right, that's Vic Hill, the promoter of Bulls Gap, Tennessee's Volunteer Speedway. And let's hope that track survives out there. They're going to have to do a lot of capital improvements on that facility, but it sounds like Vic is up for the job.
Great guy. I mean, he just laid it out and was open and honest about what that track's going to need to keep it going. Yeah. And I don't blame him one bit for having to try to fumble through a season when stuff's not working, and you got to really bend over backwards to keep it going every week.
Only problem with that is, Kirk, the guys that built cars to race there weekly now are not going to be able to race their weekend.
Yeah, and that's too bad. And I'm sure that entered into how tough the decision was to try to do what he's doing. But, I don't think a lot of people realize just what tough shape that facility had been in.
Kirk, look up I-70 Speedway. What is the organization that's going to be racing out there tonight? Tonight at I-70 Speedway, folks, flat track motorcycles at I-70 Speedway.
Oh, my.
And let me tell you something, folks.
Oh,
that's a big...
Hang on to your hats,
That's a big, fast track, and they're going to put on a show. I'm not sure what series it is that's going to be out there. I'm not sure if it's AMA or not, but anyway, those guys are as fearless as they come when it comes to flat track motorcycles.
I watched a video on YouTube with that series, and they were at Port Royal. They were getting around that place. Were they
like the Grand National bikes that you see in AMA?
It was the Premier Series, whatever the Premier Series is.
Right, the Grand National
Series.
Series.
They were moving around there. It was really cool to see them.
Wow. Did you find anything?
American Flat Track, it says.
American Flat Track Association of some sort.
Boy, that's crazy. Port Royal Speedway and now I-70 Motorsports Park.
Right.
Two very high-speed racetracks. That's going to be a show.
And, oh, by the way, Austin just brought it to my attention that tonight on Flow, if you're a big Flow fan, which I am because they have so many races, how could you not be? Bowman Gray is going to have is this their first show of the year at Bowman Gray?
I believe so.
That'll be worth watching.
Man, oh, man.
They have
I'll be in on that.
A couple 100-lap modified event tonight.
They've got weekly racing at Devil's Bowl Speedway as well. They've got weekly racing at 34 Raceway, Ultimate Super Late Models at County Line Raceway as well. There's so much going on. IRA sprints at Beaver Dam. Say it, Dam. Damn it.
Beaver Dam Speedway.
Beaver Dam. Dam. My God. What's wrong with me this morning? I'm tired. Anyway, there's a lot going on. You got the All-Star Circuit of Champions going to be at Port Royal tonight.
A couple other events going on. Creek County is hosting the Oil Capital Racing Series tonight, and also the United Rebel Sprint Series at Dodge City Raceway Park tonight. You can watch both those races on RacingDirt.com.
Right. T-Town USAC Midget Showdown at Port City tonight on Flow as well. So.
Yeah. And
what's on Dirt Vision tonight?
Well, you got the Outlaws at Tri-State Speedway at Hobstadt tonight. And just looking down through what else they got going on there tonight. Atomic Speedway hosting the World of Outlaw Late Models. Volusia Speedway Park has their weekly program tonight. Knoxville Raceway. You can watch Knoxville.
I love the late models.
On Dirt Vision tonight.
Yeah.
And Millbridge Speedway has got an event going on tonight. So all of those on Dirt Vision. I'll have Knoxville on. I'll be watching what's going on up there. Hopefully it's still on, by the way.
A lot of options tonight online. Yeah. Holy cow.
And on MAV TV Plus, they'll be having the MLRA at Lucas Oil Speedway tonight.
You know, I think we have another TV up there in the storage locker, Kirk. I might have to put another one in down here.
There you go. Might as well be here as sitting up in that storage locker.
Right. Might as well put it up. What do you think, Austin? One more?
More the better.
We'll get rid of the deck lid and put a TV there.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. All right.
By the way, the Xfinity race at Talladega is on Fox. The
qualifying. What time tonight. Is that? Kirk?
10 o'clock this morning on FS1. It's coming up here in just a short while. I think the weather's all right now. I think it's going on right now.
It would be on right now, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So, Cup Series with qualifying for tomorrow's race at Talladega. And look forward to watching that Xfinity race down there today.
Yep. All right, Austin, you got anything else you want to add before we get out of here? Todd, how about you, bud? Anything?
No, not yet.
No?
You're just wanting to go take a nap so you can go racing.
He's not going to take a nap. Didn't you hear that earlier, Kirk? He's not going to take a nap because that's going to mess him up.
I'm going to go lay some decals. Get this car done.
Your sprint car?
Yep.
Yeah. Now we need a motor.
Yeah.
Anybody want to loan us a motor?
No. I don't want to say no. I don't want to be responsible.
Listen, hold on a second. If somebody would loan you a motor, and if it blew up, you didn't have to pay for it, you would take it, wouldn't you? Right? Okay.
Just
so you know.
And what's going on next weekend?
2 nights at Lake Ozark Speedway.
All right. Let's hope we get it done. All right. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Marie says she's going to be watching USAC at Port Royal. That'd be a good one.
USAC and
All-Stars at Port Royal tonight, too.
Oh, they're there, too, aren't they?
USAC Midgets at Port City. Maybe she meant Port City?
No, she said Port Royal.
USAC and Port Royal.
She's watching them both.
Both. I got you. Absolutely.
I'm punchy, man. I stayed up way too late.
Do we need? If you ever notice that the computers, like laptops around here, Kirk always blows up the zoom on it. I think we need to blow them all up so we all can see it.
Well, today especially, because last night was a late night.
Yeah.
That's why I like sitting here in the studio and just taking it up. I know, Marie, I need to wake up. I stayed up way too late last night.
It was great being out the racetrack last night, seeing
was
live
good.
Racing where you can feel it and smell it.
I left
and
after
hear
the,
it.
I left after the heat races, I must say, though, and came home and started watching TV.
Well, I don't want to say you didn't miss much, but
I didn't miss much.
You didn't miss much.
You know, there's certain things live video can't capture the whole experience of being at the racetrack.
We shouldn't sit through the dust.
Understand, huh?
We shouldn't sit through the dust like we all did. It got pretty dusty.
It was dusty out there last night.
The wind didn't help it at all.
Yeah, the wind was about 45, 50 mile an hour last night.
When that wind starts kicking up like that, and, track's going to dry out, slick up, rubber up. You know, that's what happens.
Ernie wants to know what happened to Thunder Hill Speedway. They sold it, they closed it, and it's been sitting up there rotting away.
Very sad.
Yep.
That was a great racetrack.
Yep.
Love that place.
Yep, no doubt. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in to the show. I want to thank Todd and Austin for doing their job here this morning. My partner Kirk Elliott. I'm Scott Traylor. We hope that we'll see you on Monday on Mostly Motorsports. It starts at 12 noon Central Time. Again, you can watch it on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and RacingBoys.com. We hope that you'll join us. For everybody here at Racing Boys, I'm Scott. We'll see you Monday, 12 noon Central Time.